So I'm back from paternity. Did I miss anything? I've been so busy changing diapers, I haven't really paid much attention to the news. Emma and I welcomed a baby girl, Georgina Post Waters. We call her Gigi. She's doing great, mom's doing great, and we're gonna show you some baby pictures at the end of the show. But first, Hunter's baby mom is not doing so great. Being a father is the most important thing a man can do. We all remember Dad teaching us how to ride a bike for the first time. First time I rode a bike, I crashed. But some people remember their dads a little differently.
You know what I do remember? You making me drive you home from the beach because you got too drunk.
It makes sense to me. When somebody's hammered, they have another guy drive home.
I was 8.
But you looked 14 because you were such a huge fat. I'm sorry.
You were such a...
Hunter Biden did something no one's ever done. Hunter Biden went to court today to prove he was a deadbeat dad. Now, usually deadbeat dads don't want anybody to know. Not Hunter. Hunter Biden, the son of the President of the United States, went to court and told the world, I want to pay less child support. Now, Hunter can't even pick his 4-year-old love child from a lineup. He doesn't even know what she looks like. He's never met her. Those are his words, not ours. But in typical Hunter fashion, he had to advertise to the entire world how despicable he is. Just like Hunter said, the laptop's not mine. He was saying the baby's not mine either. Hunter Biden went to court to tell this 4-year-old girl, her name's Navy, that she's not allowed to use his last name. Hunter Biden is basically telling a 4-year-old girl, his 4-year-old girl, she's not allowed to call herself a Biden, even though the paternity test says she's his.
You are the father.
I watched a lot of Maury during paternity. So Hunter was in court today to tell the judge he is too broke to pay child support. He wants his child support payments reduced. Well, how broke is Hunter? Hunter's lawyers, the best in the country, not cheap, claim that Hunter had to sleep on a cot in his dad's room in Dublin. Does anybody believe Hunter slept on a cot? You're telling me Hunter went to Ireland without his wife and didn't have his own room and slept in a cot with Dad? Yeah, right. Now, what else did Hunter tell the judge? Well, Hunter claimed poverty because he had to sell his Porsche. Judge, I can't support my daughter. I just got rid of my Porsche. But do you think Hunter's walking around? No. His sugar brother gave him another car, but they won't tell the court what car it is. Do you think it's a Camry? I doubt it. So they told us Hunter Biden's this great businessman. Remember? Joe Biden says he's the smartest man he knows. The guy's made millions of dollars all over the world. He's a lawyer. He's an energy expert. You're saying Hunter Biden can't pull some money together for child support payments in Joe Biden's economy? They tell us this is the greatest economy in 60 years. So how's Hunter not making any money? And where'd the Burisma money go? Up his nose? Hey, how about you pawn the Chinese diamond? You can get 50 to, I don't know, 100 grand here in the Diamond District. I know a guy. That's a couple months child support. Where'd the diamond go? So the judge of this case, Holly Meyer, is wondering the same thing. And now she's telling Hunter to open up the books and answer some questions about his finances and his art sales. You know, Hunter was Jackson Pollocking canvases and selling them for what, $75,000 a piece to Chinese straw donors? You hold 10% for the big guy, but nothing for your little girl? In other words, the laptop's getting cracked open. And Hunter's going to have to tell an Arkansas judge what he did with the millions he got from China, Ukraine, Russia, and so on. This is the very thing President Biden has been trying to avoid for years. A 4-year-old girl is holding the Biden family accountable. Not the FBI, not the Justice Department, a 4-year-old girl. This is why 51 CIA guys wrote a letter before the last election claiming the laptop was phony. A letter which we now know was sponsored by the Biden team, specifically now Secretary of State Tony Blinken, who now says, it wasn't my idea.
I want to ask about the letter that was written concerning Hunter Biden's laptop that said it was Russian disinformation. Can you explain what your role was in that and if you incentivized it?
Well, first, one of the great benefits of this job is that I don't do politics and don't engage in it. But with regard to that letter, I didn't. Wasn't my idea. Didn't ask for it. Didn't solicit it.
Yeah, the Secretary of State's not a political job at all. So now people are blowing the whistle like a Knicks Heat game in the 90s. This IRS whistleblower just came forward and said the Biden Justice Department is protecting Hunter. The whistleblowers say there is a mountain of evidence that Hunter is a criminal and that he's being treated like he's some sort of CIA asset. No one's allowed to go near him. And by the way, later in the show, we just got our hands on Jeffrey Epstein's secret calendar, so we'll be telling you all about that. Now, remember how the Ukraine whistleblower, the perfect phone call, you weren't even allowed to say the guy's name? Now, the guy probably won't ever have to buy himself another drink in D.C. in his life. But now the Biden family is threatening the whistleblower.
In communication with our witnesses and with people who are cooperating from a subpoena standpoint, we know that they've been contacted by the attorneys for Hunter Biden. We feel that this is really close to crossing the line. Obviously, their objective, in my opinion, is witness intimidation. This will not stand.
Witness intimidation kind of sounds an awful like obstruction of justice. Now, the last time I checked, you can impeach a president for that. So Hunter's been playing catch me if you can for months now. He's been flying to Ireland with daddy. And get this, Hunter's been living at the White House. You think he's sleeping on a cot? And he's just living there, not just for the free food or the free rent. He's living at the White House so he can't get subpoenaed. Hunter's ducking subpoenas in the West Wing. This isn't Hunter protecting himself. This is Hunter protecting the whole Biden clan. Because bank records show that there are already at least 8 other Biden family members that got money from Hunter's foreign deals. Every Biden's been bribed. Everyone. Did you even know there were 8 Bidens? I mean, I knew about Four Fingers, the Chin, the Naughty Niece, Silent Val, I guess, but everyone's getting money in the Biden family except Hunter's 4-year-old daughter. Hunter's baby mama drama comes at the worst possible time for Joe Biden, weeks after he announces his re-election bid. Hunter's going to be back in court in July. He's getting deposed. This Arkansas judge keeps a tight docket. This is getting super awkward since Joe Biden's already having a little trouble winning over his base. Listen.
You voted for Biden.
I did.
He announced this week. What was your reaction?
Regret, disappointment, frustration.
What do you like about Joe Biden?
That he's not Trump.
And you voted for him in 2020. What gives you pause if you're having some sort of pause?
Well, obviously his age.
I would say that he's way too old and very unfit to be president.
Martha Raddatz is kind of in Johnny's lane. I don't know if I'd tolerate that if I were Johnny. And now it's an open secret in Washington that Joe's out of gas.
In America, we have an 80-year-old man begging us for 4 more years of work. Begging. Let me finish the job. That's not a campaign slogan. That's a plea. Let me finish it.
I thought Bill Clinton's slogan was finish the job. Biden plagiarized Bill, didn't they? I knew it. And how do you finish a job you haven't even started? According to Axios, the president of the United States only works from 10 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. You never see him in the morning, and it's a lid before dinner. That's the way Joe likes it.
In a lot of ways, this dinner sums up my first 2 years in office. I'll talk for 10 minutes, take 0 questions, and cheerfully walk away.
Now, the media actually clapped at that. And that's because the media is in on this with the White House. The media gives the White House their questions ahead of time. And Biden can't even remember what the question is. They have to give him a little cheat sheet with the question on it. And the reporter's name and face on it. And then he calls on them during a press conference, and they both pretend like they didn't rig it. You know what happens to the president when he doesn't know the question ahead of time?
What was the last country you traveled to?
The last country I've traveled, I'm thinking what's the last one I was in. I've been to 89, met with 89 heads of state so far. So I'm trying to think, where was the last place I was? It's hard to keep track. I mean, yeah, you're right, Ireland. That's where it was. How'd you know that?
He was in Ireland last week. The President of the United States couldn't remember the country he was in last week. And it wasn't some random country like Romania. It was the country where his forefathers came from. You know, the place where Hunter slept on a cot? Now, I'd understand if Hunter didn't remember the country, but come on. How is this guy supposed to make decisions when he doesn't even know where he was last week? Who do you think the real president is?
You have to get back to I heard you had to get back to the Oval Office.
And by the way, the one thing I thought when I got to be president, I'd get to give orders. But I take more orders than I ever did, and you're right.
So if you missed that, the President of the United States just admitted he takes orders. More orders than he's ever taken in his life. And he used to be vice president, so that's all he did before was take orders. Now, we elected a president to lead, not take orders. President Biden clearly cannot execute the duties of the presidency. Someone else is. A corrupt political clan was foisted onto our republic. And they have the nerve to try to do it again. And they have been able to get away with it up until now, but it's unraveling with this paternity case, and we can't let them get away with it. Now, a 4-year-old girl might be our only hope.